Hi, I'm psychic motherfuckers. Yeah, I guess the topic of this particular video was inspired by the bullshit stories that we tell ourselves. And I'm sure a lot of you moving through your ascension path have this longing. It's like my friends and I call it the spiritual crack, you know, this longing for our higher sensory perception gifts to manifest, to be there, to be fully embodied, to be experiencing the magic of the mage. And yet when they occur, we bypass them, not even knowing that that is indeed what has just transpired, manifested, embodied in your personal experience, in your holographic field. And so I wanted to share this message because I too have had that story in my field for a long time. Oh, poor me, my this isn't open, my that's not activated. And actually it's bullshit, because we are all connected to source, and once we understand and wade through the bullshit that is our narrative, our self-limiting and self-sabotaging narrative, we then have access to our magic. And in fact, once we have access to that, if you take a look at the backstory, you'll probably take a peek into some interesting times in your life when you have in fact and indeed been spot on with regards to you know, psychic occurrences, prophecies, intuiting things, etc., etc. You get my point. So the reason why I'm sharing this is the following. How can I not be? And when I refer to myself, I refer to you guys as well. So, you know, when you ask yourself, how can I not be psychic when we understood, or I understood, that this COVID hitting at the period of last year was going to move into a space of police states, military control, vaccinations, you know, stepping into war zone, which we are indeed in. This is a war on consciousness. It's a spiritual war. It's a technological war. We are in warfare zone. You know, this COVID experience of mine, stepping into COVID, was hugely prophetic to the degree, embarrassingly so, I say now, but I mean, embarrassment, what's the point? But embarrassingly so, because at the time, 2 weeks in, I was already packing bags and getting ready to, you know, go into the mountains so that someone didn't knock on my door, pin me down and jab me with a vaccination. Of course, a lot of spiritual people, or those on their ascension path who are in tune and understood that this was the time they were waiting for, were anticipating these events and getting crossed signals and messages, or understanding what was happening with the timelines. And so those of you who've watched my video of 2020's biggest lessons, I speak of understanding how timelines work a little deeper, you know. But again, coming back to today's topic is how I'm psychic, motherfuckers. How can I not be when all of those things that had not yet transpired were already in the field? And why is that? It is because as an activated star seed living here on earth, anchored into Gaia's frequency, I am already in tune and aware with many, many different timelines, of which I'm just accessing information, and that can be called a psychic intuition. Those of us that are visually seeing these timelines as well can access them, or intuitively knowing that this is going to be the future. So yeah, what other psychic abilities do I have, or have I intuited in the past? Well, simply put, beginning my business 6.5 years ago, a business that I was unable to explain what it was to my parents. Of course, I've done a lot of ancestral healing since that point in time. Praise be. Not to all family members, but some. You know, but 6 years ago, starting my business, which was a psychedelic-based business, healing as a medicine woman and a shamanic practitioner. Yeah, my reasoning to my parents at the time was, consciousness is everything. And this was very, very early on in my awakening. Consciousness is everything. Therefore, from a sales perspective, that 3D element that our parents want to understand and want to know, therefore, this is going to be the resource that people need in the future. And that was my reasoning to them. I am unable to explain to you, dear mother and father, what it is I do in the modality, but what I can explain to you is what I'm selling is consciousness, is ascension, is understanding who we are and why we are here. So this was another psychic intuition that happened many, many years ago. I have a lot of my excuse me, a lot of my spiritual friends that always laugh at me and say, Brigitte, you know, your third eye is wide open. And that's another story and narrative we tell ourselves. Oh, my third eye isn't open, etc., etc. Every time I move into a clearing, my third eye is wide open. But my skill set is to see in the dark, meaning when I'm in dream space, that shit is lit, yo. Okay, when I'm in dream space, that is when my third eye is, that is when I'm receiving messages, all right? When I'm in meditation, this also. And understand that your intuitive abilities are that third eye being opened. It's understanding or being aligned in your level of consciousness and therefore your level of sentience at that point in time to perceive things from a different perspective and therefore perceive realities outside of the scope of your norm or of the norm. And this, of course, is a third eye opening. This, of course, is a psychic skill. This, of course, is a higher sensory perception. That is your magic wand, your special gift, your je ne sais quoi, whatever you want to call it, all right? This is our magic. Just tuning into your gut feeling. Those of you that are mothers and fathers and parents know how this feels. Or boyfriends and girlfriends, you know, with your partners. You know when something's up. Guys, do not diminish the fact that intuition is the highest form of psychic ability. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. Do not diminish the fact that intuition in itself is the highest form of psychic ability. It is an incredible thing to have your gut feeling and your senses, your spidey senses tuned in, turned on, and most importantly, being given attention to and read. If there is any confusion or if there is doubt, all you need to do is sit in some form of grounded meditation or stillness. It could be going for a walk. It could be staring out into the ocean. As long as you're grounded and still and just bringing that topic or that intuition into your field and seeing how it feels. What is it telling you? All right. So yeah, this is my topic for today. I'm psychic, motherfuckers, as are you. Lots of love. Bye.